What's going on, y'all? It's Greg. Greg said it. Back with another one here. It's a wonderful day. Transition to spring. Weather's changing. And as you can see, the days are lighter. Usually be getting dark by now. It's a great thing. Everything has its pros and cons. I love the warm weather. Not too hot. The bugs can just be kind of crazy. But one thing we're getting closer to football season. Everybody's excited about the spring game. I know a lot of people have been asking me, am I going to go to a game? Y'all just keep speaking it up. I haven't really thought about it. Last year looked so exciting for, a lot of the YouTubers were starting to go to the games. I know Colin, Life in Football, he pretty much went to almost all of them, even away games. And he really took advantage of the opportunities and it allowed him to grow. And I've seen a couple other ones. I think maybe Big Chico, John Liquidator. A couple of guys live out that way in Colorado. And, me, I'm down in Atlanta, Metro Atlanta. And I think one of the closer games is UCF. And I know some of the other guys were talking about going down there. So, man, y'all keep speaking it up. That may not be a bad thing. I don't know what I'm going to be doing. I don't know exact date. But who knows, man? It's a lot to develop. I know last year this time, like I said, I wasn't even doing this. So appreciate all the subscribers and supporters who even helped me get to this point, because I didn't have a plan to get here. I didn't have a plan to be a channel or monetize. I didn't have none of those goals. It just kind of happened. As the numbers hit and I started to see what was possible, because I didn't even know what to even predict. But, the possibilities led me to where I am. And speaking of possibility, the format for the playoff has got out, right? The 5x7. We kind of figured it'd be somewhere along that line. It's a model. And I talked about what I expect from Colorado Buffaloes, and I stand on it. I expect at least 10-2. And that's before all the other pieces really came together. We still got pieces coming together. We still got, Robert Livingston coming in. We kind of seeing what he can do. Not quite knowing yet, but, through research, seeing what's possible. Pat Shermer got some things up his sleeve. He got something to prove. Of course, Shador got something to prove. Travis got something to prove. Those linemen, they just really molding together. They're going to do well. I think the defensive line, just the competition that these new old linemen is bringing, not only to the offensive side, but they really going to push each other. They're going to have a good time pushing each other doing those drills and practice, because they all so competitive and they all ambitious and they outgoing. They're not passive. And that's going to make your defensive line better, because they go against some good guys, some big, strong guys. Then that at least prepares them. If not, will make them better than who they're going to go against. So the defensive line is really going to push our offensive line, and the offensive line going to push our defensive line. And, of course, our secondary is going to be pushed by these great receivers we got coming in. So they're going to get that work. We're going to really see who's what. And we got the depth. Man, we got some great battles coming with McKinney and McClain over there. Cooper still hanging around. Cooper let y'all know last year, don't get it twisted. He said he's still that guy. Don't overlook him. That's a beautiful thing. Because we know Cooper and McKinney, not Cooper and McKinney, but Kamani, McClain, and McKinney, they got a couple more years left. This is it for Cooper. And, those young guys going to be those guys next year. So the bigger the jump they make this year, the better for the next couple of years. And Colorado, like I said, they're a team that really could shake some things up. Their talent is there. As long as the coaches get their minds right and make the right decisions, manage that thing, and the players are there in alignment, the talent is just there. The talent is just really there. It's just, it's going to catch a lot of people by surprise who kind of bandwagoners. They wait till the season kind of start, and they're not even really knowing what Colorado has. And a lot of people still looking at what Colorado did. They don't even see it coming. It's that wave. It's like a gold wave, and or should I say a black wave. But this new playoff model is really a good thing, because the four leaders, you got your Big 12, you got your ACC, SEC, and Big 10. Those are like those big fours, right? Pac-12 just kind of falling by the wayside. The conference winners automatically get that first seed, and really a bye. So that's what you really should be shooting for. That is the best bet for Colorado, not just to make the playoff, but to win that conference. It gets them in the playoff. that's very beneficial to them to strive for that, because they strive for that anyway. But when you look at the number 1 seed is going to play the winner of the 8 versus 9, which is the rankings, right? The 8 and 9. The number 2 seed is going to play the 7 versus 10. So 7 versus 10 going to play that number 2. The 6, the number 3 seed plays the 6 versus 11, right? So you see what it's looking like. Then you see number 4 team, number 4 will play 5 versus 12. And I don't know how, I know the first 4 seeds. I don't know how they're going to determine maybe the better rankings out of those 4. I don't know. That's going to be interesting, because what if somebody win the conference who wasn't the top 4 seed? That's yet to, see how they're going to do that, because we got to determine who's going to be 1, 2, 3, and 4. We know it's going to be one of the conference winners, but how do we determine which conference is that, other than hopefully they're already in the number 1 through 4 seed? So that's yet to be known and still developing. But either way, you want to be one of those 4, because one, you get to buy. I think you'll get some kind of, advantage. I know as you get further into it, you're going to have those New Year's bowls. And I think this is at least 6 of those. So those bigger bowls you will automatically play in, because you get that buy, right? And then you look at the 8 versus 9 got a tough path, because they're number 8, number 9, so they barely cracking the top 10. They got to go up against that number 1, right? And the number 1 could be somebody like a Georgia, so Then number 7 versus 10, number 10 seed got it tough, because they got to go against the number 17, and then they have to go against the number 2. So you're looking at not just the top 4, but if you didn't fall in that top 4, where do you want to fall? And I can tell you what I would see. 6 versus 11. 6 versus 11, they got it set up, man, because the 11 seed got to play at number 6 and then play the number 3. The only one who really is not easy, because number 12 got to play number 5 and then play number 4. So there's really no easy path. They got the thing set up right, because number 12 seed got to play a top 5 team and then play a number 4 team. Now, they're not playing a number 1, a number 2, or number 3. So I don't know. Maybe it's no real easy route. Maybe the number 11, but then they got to play a number 6, then number 3. So they got this thing laid out right. So I think the best route is to be one of them top teams, get that bye, and then play a team who is lower ranked than you. So these games going to really matter this year. I think the way they got this playoff set up is really going to make people have to play. You're not just settling for bowls now, because you pretty much in the top 12. You got a chance to be in the playoff. So you crack the top 12, you're in the playoff. So that's where you want to be. If you don't win the conference, you want to be at least at number 12. And you can't tell me that's not doable for Colorado. As long as they're not throwing away games, even if they, let's say, went to the conference championship, and people try to say they're going to lose in the conference championship, even if they, hopefully, nobody's not taking advantage of that and voting you out, because that number 13 team going to be sad. I can go ahead and tell you now, number 13 is going to be sad, because they're like, we just won away. Especially if they go from, lose a game at the last minute. They was like the number 10 team, then they get moved to 13. Or let's say more realistic, a number 18 and get moved to 13 by losing a late game, by losing a game right before the conference championship, or maybe even losing the conference. That conference championship loser could easily be that team who barely missed the playoff. You would think that you would want to say the top 2 teams all go to playoff, because you're looking at 4 conferences, and let's say you took 2 teams from each conference. So it really is shaping up. If things go the way it should from a number standpoint, then maybe the top 3 teams from each conference will be the ones that make it. Because it'll be weird if, unless you just lose some last minute games, that a team is higher ranked than you and lower in the conference, or in a conference that don't really have no representative. So so let's just say, for simple math, the top 3 guys from every team, if they're all not, not like a big gap, like, the number 1 team is 10-2, and then the number 2 team is 8-4, and then the number 3 team is 6-6. Like, that's not gonna cut it. But as long as it look like how you seen in Pac-12 last year, where you seen Washington and Oregon was right behind each other, then Oregon would have been in the playoff with this model. Because they was definitely ranked high enough to make it. There was no room other than 4. So they were just 1 year away from being in the playoffs. So that's a good example of what it should look like. Oregon, Washington, I don't know who was right behind them, maybe Oregon State, somebody like that. If they were kind of like stair-step, they would be in the playoff, and they would be representing that conference, and they would be one of those guys, number 12 team versus number 5, or number 11 versus 6, because they would be in that top 12. Hopefully. This ranking stuff going to be pretty interesting, and we think we've seen something with Florida State, like how they can make certain decisions. I can see some sudden shifts to slide people in that playoff now that you got a bigger window. And you'd be like, why is this team ranked at number 12 and they didn't, and we're in this conference and we got a better record and we didn't make it. We only lost to, Ohio State and Michigan. And while we're not in the playoff, it opens up a lot of doors, because that ranking thing is still hypothetical. It's still based off of somebody's decision. It's not really locked in on numbers. Like, the numbers determine who get in the playoff, but how do you determine who get the rank? So it's still that weird stuff it's room for that to happen. But with all that, I still say Colorado's in a good position. People keep saying, how you think they're going to get in the playoff? Like I said, even if they were in the top 2 in their conference, without a lot of losses, that you only lost 1 or 2 games, like I said, and let's say you lost one of those games to, who won the conference. And if you did lose another game, let's say you lost it to, let's say 3 came out of your conference, you lost to the other team, and y'all all 3 are going, then that would be the only way I can see. But you really don't want to lose too many games. Don't think you're finna make the playoff 8-4, or even 9-3. I would say 2 games at the most. But it's still early, it's still developing. Leave your comments. Let me know what you all think. You got any insight? This Greg said it. Make sure y'all like, share, subscribe, and I'll talk to y'all soon.